Hi, I'm Sean Carruthers, and welcome to How Do I on Butterscotch.com. In this series, we're taking a look at the digital SLR camera and how to use it. In this particular episode, we're taking a look at Aperture Priority Mode. Now, every digital SLR camera has a mode dial, and one of the settings on it is Aperture Priority Mode. In this case, it says AV for aperture value, but a lot of other digital cameras will say A. What that allows you to do is change the aperture value on the camera in a user-defined way. So the aperture is inside the lens. The aperture is how wide open it opens or how much it closes down to allow light to pass through the lens. And when you set your camera into aperture priority mode, you determine that amount, and the camera will compensate by changing the length of the shutter. So when you flip it up, the shutter will go up. So it'll compensate for your aperture setting on the lens by changing the speed of the shutter to make sure that the picture looks the same. And again, as with shutter priority mode, which you determine the shutter speed and it changes the aperture mode to compensate, it's hard to see at a quick glance how the image itself differs from one taken in full automatic mode. The lighting looks the same and all of that. However, and this is a little bit harder to get your head around with aperture priority mode because it doesn't indicate motion like it does in shutter priority mode. You can actually see cars blurring through a shot when you're changing the shutter speed. Aperture priority mode is a bit more subtle, and there are a couple of reasons why you'd want to do that. So by opening up the aperture to a wider setting, you can actually shoot better in dim light. But one of the key reasons why people do aperture priority mode is to adjust the depth of field. Now, depth of field is how much of an image is actually in focus. Now, when you look through the eyepiece on your camera and adjust the focus ring to determine what image or what portion of your image is going to be in focus, you'll generally see that it's a narrow band that you'll see. Something will snap into focus and things on either side of it will be out of focus. Now, by changing the aperture priority mode, you can actually change how much of the image will actually be in focus, despite what you see through the viewfinder. When you open the aperture value right up, and the lower the number, like 2.8, 2.0, the lower that number is, the more it's opened up wide, the less of the image will be in focus. So just as an example, we have a scene taken at a marina. Now we've focused on the plants up front, and in behind we've got some boats that are out of focus. Now, as we change the aperture setting and go down towards f22, what we'll see is the further we go down that line and open or close the aperture value up more and more until it's pretty much not letting any light through the lens at all, the shutter stays open longer, and you'll notice the boats in the background start to become more in focus. Don't forget to check out the other episodes in this series where we look at shutter priority mode, manual mode, and a few of the other settings on the camera. Thanks for watching.